Good morning, myself Ashegla Devi, Assistant Professor in Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to discuss about the subject CS3391 Object Oriented Programming. In Object Oriented Programming, today we are going to discuss about a topic inheritance. So what is the outcome of learning this particular module is, on successful completion of this module, the student should be able to write programs, Java programs using inheritance. So next we are going to see what is inheritance. Inheritance is a mechanism in Java by which one class is allowed to inherit the features or the properties of another class. So this process of deriving a new class from the existing class is called as inheritance. So a class that inherits is called a superclass, or we can say it is the base class, or and if the class that does the inheriting property is known as the subclass or the child class. So the keyword which is used for inheritance is called as extends. Next, we are going to see the syntax of creating a inheritance. So if you want to create a class, means what is the syntax? We will use class space class name. See, if I want to create a subclass which inherits the properties of superclass, means I have to use it as class subclass name extends superclass. That means the subclass extends the properties of superclass. See example, consider I have a class called A. If I want to create a base class which is called A, and I'm going to create a derived class B. The B is going to inherit the properties of A, means I have to use like this, that is class B extends A. Okay, so it has to use the keyword called extends for inheritance. And the main thing here is the constructor of the superclass are never inherited by the subclasses. Next, we are going to see what are the advantages of inheritance. The first advantage is code reusability, because the public methods of the base class can be reused by the derived classes. You don't want to write it again. And data hiding, the private data of the base class cannot be altered by the derived class. That is one major advantage. Another one advantage is overriding. That is, with inheritance, we will be able to override the methods of the base class in the derived class. Next, we are going to see the types of inheritance. The first type is single inheritance. So in single inheritance, a subclass inherits the features from one superclass. See, consider this example. We have class A and class B, where class A is a superclass, class B is a subclass. The class B is going to inherit the properties of class A. So how we can write the code? First, you have to create a class A. So class A, then open bracket, close bracket. Then when we are creating class B, you have to extend class A. So how will you write? Class B extends A. That means the class B inherit the properties of A. So this is called a single inheritance. Next, we are going to see what is multi-level inheritance. If more than one level of inheritance will be there, means that is called as multi-level inheritance. So in multi-level inheritance, a derived class will be inheriting a base class, as well as derived class also act as a base class to other class. That is, a derived class in turn act as a base class for another class. See, here we have an example of class A, class B and class C. Class B inherit the properties of class A, class C inherits the properties of class B. So how will we write as a syntax? Class A, open bracket, close bracket, then class B extends A, and when you are writing class C extends B. Okay, so class B extends the properties of A, class C extends the properties of B. So next we are going to see hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, one class serves as a superclass for more than one subclass. See, consider this example. We have a class A. For class A act as a superclass to both class B as well as class C. Okay, so both class B and class C inherits the properties of class A. They can share it. Okay, so that is called as hierarchical inheritance. So here, how will you write class B? So you have to write it as class B extends class C. Similarly, here class C extends class C. Next is multiple inheritance. Java does not allow the multiple inheritance. To normally it won't allow that, but if you want to do this, means you have to use the concept of interfaces to reduce the complexity and simplicity of simplify this particular language. And to avoid the ambiguity, we are not going to use multiple inheritance by using classes in Java. And next we are going to discuss about hybrid inheritance. The combination of more than one inheritance is called as hybrid inheritance. So here This is a combination of two different inheritances. So class B extends the properties of class A as class C extends the properties of class A. Class D extends the properties of both class B as well as class C. So this is called as hybrid inheritance. And what are the access controls in inheritance? The following rules of inheritance are enforced. That is, the variable declared in public or protected in the superclass are inheritable in subclasses. The variables or methods declared private in superclasses are not inherited to any of the subclasses. The method declared as public in superclass also must be public in all the subclasses. The method declared protected in the superclasses must either be protected or public in the subclasses. They cannot be private. Next, using of super keyword. The super keyword refers to the immediate parent class object. So whenever you want to create an instance of a subclass, an instance of parent class is also created implicitly. So which refers by the super reference variables. So if you are using super class means it is used to call the immediate parent object. And what is the use of super with variables? When both parent and child have members with same name means we can use super keyword to access the member of the parent class. So when we use super with method is the super keyword can also be used to invoke the parent class method. It should be used if subclass contains same methods as parent class. So we call that as the method overriding. Then the use of superclass with the constructors. The super keyword can also be used to invoke the parent class as constructor. So for that we have to use the function called superof. So if superof is present, it will be always be the first statement executing inside the subclass constructor. So when we invoke a super of statements from with subclasses, we can invoking the immediate superclass constructor. Thank you.